the same reason, but they don't all taste good. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's definitely a quality thing for sure. Yeah.
yeah.
Hey Tracy, I see you just hopped on here. Can you hear us okay? Okay. Well, I thought that I wasn't sure who was all going to pop on, but I just wanted to just take a few minutes. I don't want these to ever turn into long, drawn out calls just because it's late at night and everyone has stuff to do. But um, I wanted to share a little bit about my story. Just some of you probably don't know it 100%, but I started with Beachbody programs. It's about 2.5 years ago now. And the only thing that interested me at the time was Shakeology. I had no interest in fitness. I was very happy with my weight. I didn't really feel like I needed to even be working out. I had 3 little kids at the time. They were like basically 3 and under, and my husband was working out west. So I was very busy. I was at home alone with these 3 little kids. I was not eating properly at all. I was basically having coffee all day and like grilled cheese crust for lunch. And then I would have a big supper followed by an even bigger bowl of ice cream every single night. And that's just kind of how my days went. I was tired all the time. I was kind of irritable. I was just going through the motions, and that's just what I kind of expected. That's what I thought being a mom was. That's just how I figured I should feel. And I wasn't even, maybe I was 30. I don't know. I'm 33 now. So I was probably about 30. And I thought, well, I shouldn't be feeling this run down. I'm still pretty young. So I saw my coach posting about this shake on Facebook, and similar to probably what you guys have seen me post. And I just kept thinking, well, what the heck is this? Because that sounds like it would be perfect for me. Something that I could make very quickly and drink on the go while I'm running around with these kids, but something that would give me all the nutrition that I needed in a day because I knew I wasn't getting enough. And I messaged her and ordered right away. Now, it also came with a fitness program and a nutrition plan, but I right away said, you know what, I'm not really interested. I had actually started going to the gym, which I enjoyed getting out and doing that. It was a social thing for me. But I belonged to the gym for about a year, and I never, ever saw any results, like no results. Mostly because I was going to the gym and wandering around, not really knowing what to do and kind of looking at the clock, wondering if it was, if I'd been there enough time to leave and go pick up my kids. And so I really wasn't getting much out of it. And then I would come home and I would eat whatever I wanted because I didn't know anything about nutrition at that point. So it wasn't really until I, had been drinking Shakeology for a couple weeks, and I then started looking at the 21 Day Fix nutrition plan. And within a few days of me following that, because I'm the type of person when I start something, I jump all in and I commit and I do it fully. So as soon as I looked at the nutrition plan, the next day I started it. And within a few days, I felt so good. Like I just had so much energy, and I felt really healthy and, kind of proud about the choices that I had been making. So that led me to start doing the exercise part of it. So it didn't take me very long to realize like, this is awesome. And I remember messaging my coach and saying, like, why isn't everyone eating this way? Why? Like, it's mind boggling that everyone's not doing this because it's so easy and it's very, very simple and effective. Within, a couple weeks, I had already started seeing changes in my body that I never saw in the year going to the gym. So I became a believer right away. So it was almost a natural progression for me to become a coach because I just had so much passion about it, and I wanted to share that with others and help them get started on the same journey that I had gone on. About a couple months later, I ended up getting pregnant with our 4th baby. So I still did follow that nutrition plan, and I still managed to work out and drink Shakeology every day throughout my pregnancy. I bumped up a calorie level, obviously, because I wanted to getting more calories. And, even still after the baby, and I still continue to drink Shakeology and always have. So it's been about 2.5 years that I've drank Shakeology, and I still follow that nutrition plan. You know, I still use my containers most days because it just makes it easy, very, very easy. So I've definitely been able to make this a lifestyle, which is what the goal is. It's not 21 days and then you go back to doing what it was you were doing. And I know Autumn says a lot, you know, give me 21 days, I'll give you the body you want. I wish she wouldn't say that because, you know, it's not really the case. There's a lot more to it. You know, in 21 days, you might get to your goal weight, but there's a lot more to it than that. There's maintaining and there's making it a lifestyle change, because if at the end of the day, you're just going to turn around and go back to your old ways, there's no point in that, right? There's no finish line to this program, and it's just something that you keep doing and you keep incorporating it into your life. So I just wanted to share a little bit about that. And so just a few key things that I wanted to chat about tonight is the importance of meal planning. You know, we're on to day 2 today. So if you haven't done any sort of meal planning before, you will realize that it's a little bit hard to go throughout your day and get into all those containers. Like it can be tough to get the right foods in if you haven't planned for it. You can't just kind of leave it up to fate to get in all your veggies and to get in all your protein, because if you don't have things prepped in your fridge, you're not going to be able to quickly grab them when you're hungry or when you come home from work and you've got to make dinner. If you don't know what you're making, it's going to be really hard to stick with this. So the planning and the prepping definitely gets easier as you go along. And I find people say that the first round that they do is kind of the toughest as far as planning and prepping, and then they feel like a pro the next round that we get started on. So just really take some time to write down what you are going to have this week, or do it even 3 days at a time, that sort of thing, whatever you feel like you can manage, and just really figure out your breakfast and your lunch and your dinner, your snacks. When are you going to have your shake? When are you going to work out? That's a huge thing. I used to do this, like, especially after I'd had my baby, I would just try and like, oh, I'll fit it in. I've got all day long. I'll fit it in. Well, it never really did get done in those early days because I wasn't penciling it in. I never made a specific time that I was going to do it. And it weighed over me all day long. And it just kind of ate away at me, knowing that, oh, I still haven't even done my workout and I need to do it still. So for me, getting up and just getting it done and over with is the best thing that I can do, because I know if I don't get up and do it, I'm probably not going to do it. And then that guilt is the worst part of it, right? So figure out a time that works best for you. If you are up early to get ready for work, maybe in the evening is a good time for you, or you know, if you're at home with your kids and you want to do it during nap time, that's always good too. But just be aware that you can't always guarantee it's going to be a good nap, or, you know, always kind of plan around those things. So just, you have to figure out what works for you, and it might change. Next week, you might figure out a different routine, and that's totally fine. I finally do have my routine down pat, and it's been like that for the last few months. But up until then, it was very hit and miss when I was doing things, and just with little kids, it can get a little crazy at times. Each program comes with a workout calendar, which some people don't realize, and they just start doing whichever workout they want to do. I recommend sticking to one specific program. You know, if you're going to pick Core de Force or 21-day fix, whatever it is you're going to pick, start day 1. So hopefully that was yesterday, and follow the workout calendar. Don't just do the workouts that you want to do or that you feel like doing that day. Stick to the calendar. Print that calendar out and know which workouts you're going to do, because they're designed for a reason. You know, there's specific calories that are burned in each day, in each of the workouts. So you really need to be following the program. These programs work. All of them do. The nutrition plans work with all of them, but you have to follow it. You can't just kind of create your own and assume you will get the results. So stick to your containers. This is probably my number one advice, is to make sure you are sticking to your containers. Don't eyeball things, especially if this is your first round and this is brand new to you. Don't trust your judgment, because it's more than likely not right. For me, I know I was never eating enough protein. I would make a salad and I was probably putting on like half a red container of chicken, thinking that that was a full serving, and it wasn't. So I know, before Beachbody, I was not eating enough protein. I some days probably wasn't even eating enough carbs, because we're led to believe that carbs are what's going to make us gain weight, and carbs are evil, and we should have a very low carb diet or even avoid carbs altogether. So I started doing that because that's just what you hear. But you need carbs. You need the fuel in those carbs, and that's what your body needs in order to burn all the calories. So carbs are very, very important. So don't skip those yellow containers, but also don't go over on your yellow containers. That's key as well. A lot of people think that if they do skip some containers each day, like if they get to the end of the day and they still have a green and a yellow left, or a purple and a red, that if they don't eat those containers, they'll probably get to their results quicker. And that is not true at all. If you hold back on some of your containers thinking that you'll lose weight faster, it can actually do the exact opposite, because if you are not giving your body enough calories, it will start to hold on to all the food that it's being given. So if you are not, the programs are designed to give you the calories that you need based on your weight. So if you are not taking in enough calories, your body will start to hold on to the calories that you give it. And instead of losing weight, you will actually start to gain some weight, or even just stop losing weight altogether. And that's because your body is afraid that it's not going to get more fuel. So it's just holding on to everything that you're giving it, thinking like, well, what if she doesn't feed me enough tomorrow? I need something to burn tomorrow, so I'm going to hold on to these calories today. So it's super important to get in all those containers, because that is your fuel. You need that. When you are working out, you need something to burn, and you want to be able to burn those calories off. So you have to fuel your body with them. Don't get discouraged by the scale. I always recommend to weigh yourself before you start. So, day one, and then not again until the end of the program, whether that's, 30 days of Core de Force or 21 days of 21-day fix. If you have to, weigh yourself once a week, but honestly, I just recommend, not doing it every few days, not even once a week. If you absolutely have to, do it once a week, but it can really start to play with your mind. This scale does not show you the whole picture. The scale will fluctuate day to day. If you've ever jumped on the scale for like a week straight every single day, you will see those numbers go all over the place. I mean, as women, our weight fluctuates so much based on so many things, right? Water retention, the time of the month, everything. If you had a salty meal the night before, like all of that kind of, it's going to play into the number that you see. So don't get discouraged by the number. If you find that you jump on the scale a week into this and you haven't lost any weight, or, you've even gained a couple pounds, don't panic. The reason why people do gain a little bit of weight in the beginning, some people, is because your muscles are not used to the workouts that you're doing. So they develop little tears in them. And what your body does to repair those little tears is it holds on to fluid to kind of cushion and heal. And that equals weight. So don't get discouraged if you see the number climb up a little bit. It will go down, I promise. If weight loss is one of your goals, it will happen if you follow the program. But what I want you to focus on is your measurements. Your measurements will not lie. Your pictures are not going to lie. So those before pictures are so important. So if you haven't done your before pictures, if you were hesitant to do them, and your measurements, a lot of people skip the measurements as well. Make sure you do them, because that is where you're going to see the biggest results. I have many challengers who do one round of the 21-day fix and their weight never changed, but they lost like 8 inches. and their pants don't fit anymore and their pictures are dramatically different, but the scale never moved. And then they do another round and the weight starts to come off. So our bodies do funny things. So just ignore the number and just go based on how you feel, because within about 4 to 5 days of eating clean and following this nutrition plan, even less, even 2 or 3 days, you're going to feel so much better. And drinking your Shakeology every day is going to just improve your energy levels and curb your cravings, so you're not craving those those foods that we shouldn't be eating, and you'll just feel so good. The tummy bloat will start to disappear. So stick with it, even if you're getting discouraged by the darn scale. For anyone that's at a higher calorie bracket, the top 2 calorie brackets, it's a lot of food. The people who are in the first calorie bracket never can understand when someone says, like, I just can't get all this food into me. But it is a lot of food if you're in that top 3rd and 4th level. So there's ways that you can hide your food. In your Shakeology, you can bulk that shake up to make it like a 500-600 calorie shake if you want. You can add in a red of plain Greek yogurt or half of a red of plain Greek yogurt. You can even add in some quick oats and add a yellow into your shake. You can add a full banana, which is actually 2 purples, or just put half of a banana, which is 1 purple. More frozen fruit. You can put in a green container of spinach into your shake and blend that up. So you can make this big hearty shake that has 4 different containers in it. So that's a great way to use it up. Make sure you're counting your shake as a red container, and then of course anything else that you add into it. Another way that you can easily hide some food throughout the day, I always have some baby carrots on hand, because 10 baby carrots is 1 green. So for the people who have like 5 or 6 green containers to get in each day, that can be tough. So if you have just 10 baby carrots in a Ziploc bag, keep them in your car, munch on them on your way home from work, or if you're sitting at the computer, whenever. It's pretty easy just to munch on 10 carrots and get them into your system, because those green containers are really, really important to get in. So definitely don't be skipping out on those. If you're an egg person, what you can actually do if you're making scrambled eggs, you can put in some cottage cheese, which is a red. So you could put in like half a container of cottage cheese into your 2 eggs as you're scrambling them up, and it makes them into this kind of like fluffy, just a really good consistency of scrambled eggs. So you could use a red and a half if you used half a container of the cottage cheese. So there's another way to kind of get in some more containers. Make a big salad with, fill it with 2 to 3 green containers of mixed veggies and mixed greens. Add in a yellow container of quinoa or rice, and then a red container of protein. So you can get this big salad that's using up a lot of containers as well. You could double up on your oatmeal if you've got a few yellow containers to use. Just make a big bowl of oatmeal in the morning. If weight loss is your goal, try and get those yellow containers earlier on in the day, as well as your purple containers. The rule of thumb that I've heard people say is to try and get your purple containers in by noon or so, or 2 p.m., just because those sugars you want to be able to burn off as you go about your day, instead of going to bed with those sugars in your body still. You want to be able to burn them off. And same with the yellow containers, the carbs. Get most of them earlier on in the day. I know for me, I like to have 1 yellow with my dinner, so I usually do save 1 yellow, but if you're able to get them even before 4 p.m., that will help. If you find as you go about this, or if you've done a round or 2 and you just aren't seeing the results you want, that's a little bit of a way to tweak things, is to kind of move around the time of day you're having your containers. I always have my red container of Greek yogurt in the evening with a little bit of natural peanut butter in it. That's always my treat. And, it's a good thing to have in the evening, some protein. So that was about all I was going to chat with you guys about. If anyone has any questions at all. Do you have any questions, Stephanie?
Sorry, I'm on mute. I don't think so. This is just day 2. So I have to say I'm finding the meal planning difficult because I'm not used to it. I'm good with breakfast and lunch. I pretty much eat the same thing all week.
Mhm.
But I find dinner a little bit difficult, particularly because my husband's not really following this. So he's eating a lot more than me, which is fine. But so I don't really want to make a whole meal for myself. That's different from the rest from my husband. So, but anyways, I'm kind of figuring it out. So day 2. So
Yeah. And, you know, for your first few days and even your first week or two, keep it super simple because you don't want to feel overwhelmed by any of this. So just keep it very simple. I do eat the same thing for breakfast every single day. My lunch is pretty much the same every day too. I am fine with that. Some people need variety. I don't. I could eat the same thing every single day. Um, as far as your dinners, that is kind of a struggle for a lot of people. You should never feel like you are having to make yourself something separate. Like, this is really meant to become a lifestyle. In the beginning, it might feel a little different than that. It might feel like you are making yourself something and your family something. But as you go along, you really should be able to kind of find ways to make everything sort of fixed friendly. And that's what I find has happened in our household. Like, our family favorite meals, we're still able to have tacos, fajitas, quesadillas, shepherd's pie, sloppy joes, all those things, they can be made fixed friendly. Pizza, you know, so whatever, like what would be one of your meals, would you say?
Well, again, like pizza, stuff like that. We don't eat a lot of that type of stuff. And so it's not too hard, but I find that we cook a lot more with sauces. So if we're making a stir fry or something like that, we'll throw like a sauce on it or something like a canned sauce or a jar of sauce from President's Choice or something like that,
You can use your own sauces.
which is I think a challenge to kind of get away from those sauces and into some of the seasoning mixes instead.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, you're right. I'm glad you brought that up because that was I think that's the way a lot of people cook is with those little seasoning packets, those Clubhouse seasonings and the barbecue sauces and all that. I mean, and the cream cans of soup and making casseroles with that stuff. That's exactly how I was too. So it's just taking a little bit of time to figure out substitutions for those. And you know, you can make your own barbecue sauce, which takes a little bit of planning ahead, but you can do it. I use a lot of balsamic vinegar, and for stir fries I'll just use that. In those cases, I sometimes will make 2 little pots of stuff on the stove and have like one all sauced up for my husband and kids, and then something of the exact same nature, but just not the same sauce. So the same vegetables, the same rice and chicken, but then just without any of that sauce and just maybe some balsamic or salsa or whatever. Mm-hmm. So you'll start to maybe be able to do that a little bit. And then you'll just find your family over time, if you maintain this, your family is going to catch on, and you'll just start to incorporate it into your family life. Mm-hmm. It might take some time though, for sure. And it might take you some time as well to kind of start getting into that habit of just tweaking things a little bit. But, you know, there shouldn't be ever anything that you can't have. Like, as far as those sauces, those things, yeah, you really shouldn't be having anymore. But the meal itself, you can make fixed friendly, all those things. Like when we had sloppy joes, like a couple, I forget what it was, but everyone was like, "You had sloppy joes?" I'm like, yeah, and it was fixed friendly. Like, there's a recipe out there. If you go on Pinterest, you can find a recipe for anything that's fixed friendly. Jennifer, are you trying to say something?
No.
Oh. I thought you were like raising your hand.
No.
How do you deal with restaurants and stuff? So if I'm tomorrow night, I'm meeting some friends for supper. I'm usually pretty good at making good choices, but from a portion perspective, it might be a little bit trickier.
Yeah, that's a really, really great question. I actually did a call. I have another challenge group we're in about week 3 of the challenge group. So I did a call last week with them about that, which is what I have planned for next week with you guys. But I can share that call with you to watch.
Sure, thanks.
Yeah, and I went over a bunch of different tips on kind of dining out and the how-tos. So since that's tomorrow night for you, I can send that to you tonight.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, I don't go out that often, but it does happen. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think this will help you. So you can just have a listen to that call.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, well, anything else, ladies?
I'm good, I think.
Okay. Yeah, and just take it. I know Jennifer's done, this is like your 3rd round, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's had amazing results. Like you've lost, 30 pounds? Oh.
Yeah.
She's had great results. So, I mean, it does work. You just have to stick with it and don't get overwhelmed in the beginning because it's something new. With anything new, it can be overwhelming and scary, but
yeah, no, I'm excited and I'm really trying. My main thing for joining was for the exercise routines. And so I am finding it hard because I'm really inflexible. I'm doing the PiYo. So I'm really out of shape as far as tone and flexibility, but I started on Sunday or Saturday with the routine. So I'm sticking with it. So far, I haven't missed any because sometimes that's will happen. I'll work out really, really hard and then I can't move for 3 days. And so far I've been able to continue, which is good. So
yeah. Oh, good.
And I
Now
might
with PiYo, it's one of our older programs, so it doesn't actually have the fixed eating plan with it. You might have noticed. But in your package, did you receive like how to calculate your containers and stuff? Yeah. Okay, so make sure you follow that.
Yeah.
Don't follow the eating plan that came with PiYo because it's totally different and it will just confuse you.
Okay.
So all the newer programs, I think PiYo was the last program created that didn't use the container system, but every program now uses the container system, so it's fine. But those older ones, they have just very different eating plans, and some of them I don't think are that great and will have you eating a lot of foods you probably shouldn't be. So
okay. Well, I've been following, again, day 2, but so I've been following the container process and stuff like that. And I'll see after a week because I do cross-country skiing and other stuff too. So I'll add in other things and then I'll see how I feel, whether I need to up the because I'm in the lowest calorie bracket. At the edge of it, like I'm at about 1499 or some 1486. So I'm just at the edge. So if I add in running or some other thing that I do, I might find it a little bit low. So I'll just
definitely. I think you would, in that case, definitely want to pop up to the next calorie bracket for sure. Yeah. Jennifer, are you in the lowest calorie bracket as well?
Sorry, I muted it again.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, I am.
You might even want to jump up to the next calorie bracket too.
Yeah?
Yeah. Just because, and we can talk about this, in a message too, but just because you are losing weight and you just want to make sure you're giving your body enough calories because you've been doing this a few rounds. That lowest calorie bracket is great for initial weight loss, but as far as getting to maintaining, it's not something that you can sustain eating at that calorie level. So, you might want to think about jumping up to the next calorie bracket, depending how you feel. Yeah, we can talk about it though. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to go if there's any questions. You guys are good?
I'm good. Thanks for setting all this up.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I will send you that video link.
Excellent. Thanks. And
Okay.
how do I disconnect? Or you disconnect us? And
Yeah, I'll end it. Yeah.
goes away?
Yeah, well, I'll go away. I won't stay there all day.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Nice to meet you.